Hi, I'm Jared the Bear. This is episode 12. Well, I didn't think of a rhyme to go with 12 because I was put on the spot. Thanks, Strawfoot.
That's the worst rhyme yet.
I like it.
We have a special guest tonight besides Strawfoot and Malek. They're not special. We have Gid. He's here with us. He was here with us before, but we had challenges with audio. So he's here again, and we're going to hunt stuff, and he is going to tell us about himself.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
Wow.
Gid is going to be playing Rathalos in the upcoming Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
We decided
Would you
that.
like to do your Rathalos impression for us again? Brilliant.
Ghost, where are you?
Most impressive. Jared Bear, take the quest.
Oh. What do I do?
You know.
How do I play?
Why are you spirit fingering
Just
the wrong way?
He's not even right. Oh, Jared.
You weren't even. Anyway,
You are the hostess.
Don't
with
tell
the
me how to live my
mostest.
life, Malek. You don't own me.
I mean, it's true. I don't.
I do what I want. I'm an anarchist. I'm not an anarchist. Did I tell you about my daughter's middle school?
Oh,
No.
boy.
All her classrooms look like coffee shops. It's the damnedest thing. We
Weird.
got like couches and just like free seating and like tables, but it's like casual and like just like super relaxed, and it looks really amazing, like super chill. I wish that classrooms had been like that when I was in school, and maybe I would have done better because my classrooms were like super oppressive and like fluorescent lights beating down on me and not very friendly or welcoming.
I just remember like all the like goofy art that was always on the walls, like the motivational type art, and then
Hang in there.
yeah, right, with the cat.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I like cats.
I like cats.
So
But,
I had a news topic
What?
I thought was worth talking about.
Ooh.
Did you guys follow the recent IGN fiasco with
Yeah.
Philip?
Yep.
I'm not sure how to say his last name. Mayusin?
His
or...
name doesn't matter. His name doesn't matter.
So, right. So the short, in case anybody listening doesn't know, the short version is he, in some of his game
Plagiarized
reviews,
everything?
he plagiarized content from smaller YouTubers and claimed it as his own. And then rather than, like playing the game and reviewing it the way you would expect from a journalist at IGN, he just, copy pasted other people's reviews.
Yeah, well, it turned out it started with just one, and
Right, and they found a couple more,
they
they
thought it was an isolated incident, but it turns out that like it wasn't, and they've removed all of his posts now from IGN. They took all of his stuff down because how do they know what's legit and what's not?
Right, it's safer to just pull it all down.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that. That fucking sucks that he did that, and
Yeah. I think IGN handled it. They handled it well. I worked for them a little in the past, and they've always been pretty classy to work with, and they're good people there. Like I think it's disappointing, because it how it reflects on them, and it.
Sure. Does your buddy still work there? Or have you had a chance to talk to him about it? Not like you don't need to go into details or whatever. I was just like.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone there about it. But the other side of that is I saw like a lot of people, IGN handled the problem, and then people it's almost this kind of predatory thing where everyone now is making videos about it and posting about it and monetizing the videos, and it's just like. Kind of at this guy's expense, which I feel is kind of equally lame. You know what I mean? Like, reporting on something is one thing, but when you're just, like trashing the guy and just to get clicks, that's, kind of...
That's pretty lame. Like,
dangerous territory.
I mean, he he has been punished for what he did, and I think that's probably enough. Like, you don't need to internet mob him.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen a lot of that.
Like,
And
Yeah, we
I
should
don't
probably
really-
just kind of let it go. Stop talking about him. I mean, he's man, I hadn't really followed the story, so I didn't know the details. That's really sad that he thought he could get away with taking
well,
from
you know,
small
I feel
content creators.
I try to, in situations like that, I try to, walk a mile in the other person's shoes, and I could see how, because that is the way they teach you to write essays in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever, you know what I mean, like college and high school is just a long series of writing lots of essays about things you don't care about, and I don't know. I'm not like justifying. I'm just.
Well, I mean, I think that it's one thing to talk about the story and like as like a news item, like what we just did, but when you're strictly doing it for clicks and have like a mob mentality about like, let's get him with pitchforks and stuff. I don't think
that's not cool.
Necessarily responsible.
Right, like you can talk about something as a sort of journalist on YouTube without attacking the person's character or just being like totally negative towards them. And it's not something that's just like isolated to this one guy. Like there's just a lot of like hating is kind of trendy and gets you views and clicks or whatever to be just like vicious with stuff like that, but it's not really productive. It doesn't help to address the problem in any way.
Also, the thing is, he also posted a apology video, and why how many people doing that if they screwed something up. But he was saying that, Kotaku have fun just looking things up. So he was just challenging them to basically to have that whole mob mentality going to him. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he did. Like, how stupid can you be? I mean, sure, but if people are going to attack him and all that, yeah, of course that's shitty. But he's now just
there's also like he tried to make his apology video, and there's just no good way to handle something like that. I think that's just when you just have to disappear from the internet for a little bit, come back in a year when everybody's forgotten about it and try again.
Huh. I mean, there's a lot of lazy journalists out there, and I'm sure he's not the only one doing it.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't know. Malek and I have lots of conversations about the media and how bad journalism is, particularly in the United States.
Right.
It's a joke. I mean,
we have 5 corporations that own all of our news companies,
right,
for the most part. So, like, I don't know how you can hope to get unbiased, objective news. Even NPR, they get a lot of funding from the Kochs and the Gates and things like that. And I'm not saying that NPR is bad. I'm just saying that like it's hard to know how objective they can actually be when without the Kochs, like what would NPR be? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think
without the Gates Foundation, like what would they be?
I mean, I'm a big fan of NPR, but I think you do you have to be a critical consumer of media. Like you can't just blindly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when I said that I was done with NPR, it had much less to do with that aspect of that and much more to do about what they're choosing to cover right now, because it's just kind of tedious. But we don't need to get into politics like that. I'm just as an aside to what we're talking about,
No, I get what you're saying with the news stuff on NPR. I haven't been watching a lot of news for that reason exactly. Like I can catch up once a week on, read what's happened, and I don't need to see the like day to day, what did our commander in chief tweet today? I don't care. I already know he's an asshat. I don't need to be reminded of it every day.
While we're talking about NPR though, Bill Curtis was here last night, and they did some wait, don't tell me stuff.
I love
here.
Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, those are the kind of shows that keep me like tuned into NPR.
Yeah, for sure. What other news items are there?
Well, I still want to go back, return what Straw said, that if you're at school, you need to make an essay or a project that is all about something you don't give a shit about. Well, I don't know about you, but I made one about Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice. I got to do, let's see.
Yeah, that was
that
was never my attitude in school either. Like I tried to stay like if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. But it, when you're having to crank out like 3 or 4 essays a week on different topics, sometimes it encourages that sort of behavior.
By my senior year, we had a fairly decent amount of freedom for what we could choose to write about.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really fell into that trap by the time I cared. When I was younger and I was told to write about something, I was like, okay, whatever. But by the time I was old enough to want to write things,
mm-hmm.
I had the freedom to write about whatever I wanted. So it was nice. And then in college, the semester I took before I failed out, and I didn't fail out, I just stopped going. I got to write about, they wanted us to find a commercial and then write about what they were implicitly selling and what they were explicitly trying to sell. And I was drunk and watching TV, trying to fall asleep, and this infomercial came on about, who's the guy that does the Skype exorcisms?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's
exorcisms.
Yeah, I want to know more.
It's not Benny Hinn, but it's like Benny Hinn.
One of those guys.
It's one of those guys. I can't remember his name. Yeah, but he does Skype exorcisms now. But at the time, he was, and this was 2002, and he was still talking about how D&D was satanic.
Oh, yeah. It's
so it was a whole infomercial about how satanic Dungeons and Dragons were and how to save your kids from it and stuff. So I wrote a paper about that. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's I went to college. I guess this was like 1998, around then. But I went to a small Christian university in Central Florida, and they had, because it was a Christian university, mandatory chapel. And my first year there, they were doing exorcisms in the chapel. It was so backwards, and it's like, okay. So I left that college and ended up graduating elsewhere. But
did they think Magic the Gathering really taught magic and witchcraft?
It does.
Oh yeah,
Malek.
yeah.
Harry Potter book burnings.
Where do you think Hocus Pocus came from? I mean, hello.
That shit's weird, man.
Yeah, for-profit universities are just backwards. They shouldn't exist.
Oh yeah. For-profit, most things are backwards and shouldn't exist.
Yeah, you can better ask what is not backwards for profit. Just look at the EA with all those loot boxes. They don't even really need them, but they still have it in their games. It's really that backwards.
If it's a free-to-play game, I can excuse a little bit of loot boxery, but if it's a $60 game with loot boxes, that's just wrong, man. It's wrong. Don't do it.
Yeah, I may have said this in the past, but it's just one of those things that I think is worth repeating. The EA situation with the loot boxes that just went horrible. There were a lot of really good people working on that game that worked really hard on it for a long time and got hosed. That, you know,
I mean,
it was never the people that were working the hardest on the game. It was never their intention to have it end up like that, you know, to be that.
I don't think most people's criticisms was directed at the people, you know, doing the nitty gritty.
No, man, those are the same people getting fucked by fucking unfair labor practices.
It's the people at the top that make these decisions to put in systems like this. Like, I'm sure the people designing the game didn't say, yeah, man, you know, it would be great if we made Darth Vader one of the like hardest characters to unlock. Right. Like, it was so dumb. Like, what?
I mean, maybe it's just, you know what I mean? Because I like personally know people that were involved in it, but I just like.
No, I mean, it's good to say that because like we don't.
It is, yeah.
It does get lost in all the, you know.
Well, right. I mean, just imagine, like, I mean, we're all nerds here. Someone tells you you're going to get the chance to work on a Star Wars game, you know, or a Star Wars anything. Like, how cool is that? You know what I mean? Right. That's just such a huge thing. And then, you know, and then you spend all these years working on it and building it, and then, you know, have it kind of stolen away from you at the end and wrecked with loot boxes and turned into, you know, pretty much a joke in the industry. You know, that's kind of soul crushing.
Right. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, the people that make the games, I would not blame the people doing all of the hard work and putting their blood, sweat, and tears into a game. I mean, they want to put out a good product. They want the fans to be happy. And like Malek said, you know, they spend a lot of time crafting that shit. They don't want it to be unplayable. They don't want it to be locked behind some fucking bullshit paywall.
Right.
Like that's fucking EA fucking leadership.
I doubt like anyone involved in the creation process of like when they were designing the game was like, let's lock off like Darth Vader and Luke or whoever the big characters were. Like that came from the top down.
They want to show like, that off.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, I think that whether you're talking about, you know, game devs or, you know, someone making, you know, YouTube reviews or, you know, people are in these fields because they love games. They're not there because they're trying to make dollars. You know, sometimes making dollars is an added bonus.
Sure.
But, yeah.
No, I mean, any criticism that I ever give to a company for some bullshit practice that they have, I'm never, ever take it as me punching sideways or punching down. I'm always fucking punching up. Because those people working hard on those games, they just want to make a good product. They want to be proud of their shit.
Right.
And they don't make those decisions.
It really sucks for them
because the game.
Ultimately it's like people have to stand up to companies when they make bad decisions like that and not just blindly pre-order and buy these things. But at the same time, it's those people working on the game that are going to suffer the most. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the answer is to that, man. It's like I think we need more, you know, indie games. We need more people involved in the creation process.
I mean, Disney needs to not let EA have complete control over Star Wars.
Oh, well, for games. That, Disney I hope takes the license from them. I mean, that was...
But I mean, I forget what I was getting ready to say. I don't know. It's just... I remember. Like, I get excited about Star Wars stuff, and it hurts my heart that I don't want to play that game because that game is not... I mean, I don't want to do it. It doesn't sound fun, and it's not the people who designed it. Right. You know, it's not the person who made Darth Vader's fault. They wanted to make a good game, you know. It just sucks. Same with Shadow of War. I was super excited about that when it first came out, and then what they did to that also, man. I just like it sucks that all the hard work those people put into that game. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna play it because. I mean,
and then you got a freaking game like Monster Hunter World where the DLC comes out and it almost repels you from buying it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not saying I wouldn't buy all the DLC for Monster Hunter World, but like the Dante gesture, it's just a gesture and it's priced pretty high. Like I don't know if I would want to buy that, and I think it's cool that they haven't like put out a lot of like. It's a great gesture.
Come on, dude. That's $3 well spent.
Look, man,
I'm a gunslinger.
I'm not judging anyone who buys that. It's just
I feel judged.
I'm just saying, like,
Here.
most of the DLC that's come out for this game is totally optional. Like, it's not like super attractive to buy. Whereas, like, some of the other games, they're sort of relying more on.
Remember how angry everybody was about horse armor?
What was that?
yeah, and Oblivion, right?
Oblivion.
Yeah. I mean, people had pitchforks and torches because of horse armor, and now look where we are now. Like,
is it a slippery slope? They just get us used to this, and
basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I really hate slippery slope arguments, but
me too.
I
know
guess
why I said it. No, I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? Like, I played a little bit of Overwatch, and I didn't feel like the loot boxes in that were, like, predatory. Maybe I didn't get deep enough into it to...
I mean,
there were some people that had problems with that. I didn't really play it, so I'm indifferent.
If you listen to Jim Sterling, it's terrible because it's DLC. It's because it's paid content. Even though it's only cosmetic, it's terrible. And I think that he goes a little bit too far sometimes with his criticisms of that.
AAA industry.
I mean, I like Sterling, but
sorry, it was good.
No, that's fine.
Yep.
I've never played Overwatch. From what I understand, it is just cosmetic. It's to make your character look a little bit different than everybody else, or whatever, however you want to call it. Which, I mean, that's fine. It's cosmetic. It's not game breaking. It doesn't affect whether you win or lose. You know what I mean?
See, that was the problem with Shadow of War, though, is that it kind of took away the grinding you would have to do in the game,
which was also way too much. Like, I think they put too much behind.
Well, and see, that's the question. Did they make it intentionally grindy so that you'd be encouraged to buy these things?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, I would say yes. From what I heard.
Yeah, the first game had this Nemesis system.
Oh, it was so good.
It was really good.
I mean, I haven't played much, but still. But the Nemesis system, a lot of people were in love with that. But they traded that in for loot boxes. I'm like, how stupid can you be?
Yeah, I mean, you basically bought your army in loot boxes, which is kind of like taking the fun out of recruiting and having these whole stories. Like, that was the whole purpose of the Nemesis system. It was like you could create your own story along the way of this game. Like,
yeah, and like intentionally dying to level up enemies. I mean, it was brilliant. It was so fun and interactive. It really made Arkham Knights a lot better because the combat was Arkham Knights, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
If you relate what you were saying to Monster Hunter, though, it would be like if Monster Hunter allowed you to just buy the monster parts for real world cash. Like it would take the fun out of the game, because that's the gameplay loop is
but
grinding
not just
for
that.
parts.
If they made the RNG even worse, so it would be even harder to get that plate or that Rathalos ruby, to encourage you to spend real money to get a chance to get it. Not even get one, but to buy a box full of monster parts that might have a ruby in it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of praising the devs there again, because it's like all the DLC is optional. And I think even Sterling at one time pointed out that like Monster Hunter is a series that is like could totally be easily exploited through loot boxes or whatever. Like, there's so many ways you could exploit, and just have all kinds of extra monetization in this game. But it seems like they're working hard to try to avoid that, and I kind of I appreciate that.
Hopefully they stay on that course.
Yeah, I mean, I
think they will.
I hope they will. It seems like they're talking a lot for this game. Hopefully that's their policy going forward.
Yeah, I do have to say, I don't mind buying DLC for a game, but at least make me first enjoy the game. For example, with Skyrim, when it was still new with its DLCs. Well, it was still optional and all that, but still there was just a ton of shit to do in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Even today, there are even videos out there of little secrets and all that and details that you probably never have even seen before in the game. Like, yeah, that's brilliant. So you got even the base game and free DLCs to just screw around with.
And that's again another reason why I don't mind buying things like gestures in this game or stickers, because I want to support this game, because I feel like at $60 it's been more than my money's worth. I'm at nearing 800 hours.
Exactly.
Right. And that goes for Skyrim too, because you can play Skyrim for literally hundreds of hours. Like there's always something to do in Skyrim, just like Monster Hunter. It's about the grind. Yeah. So you're not doing new things You're not doing new things all the time. You're doing the same thing over and over.
But you're getting better at it.
Right. And yeah, I mean,
at least some of us are. Maybe not me, but
yeah, speak for yourself, man.
I mean,
kids getting better at it.
Right. You either like the grind of Monster Hunter or you don't. And
you either like the grind of Monster Hunter or you have no soul.
Right. That too. So, I mean, yeah, you play a game for 1,000 hours, and $60 is fucking nothing.
Right. That's. I mean, was the Dante gesture really worth the $3 or whatever I spent on it? Whatever. But I Maybe. Totally fine, because it's Capcom and I want them to keep making these games. So,
Yeah. Right. Well, and that's a good reason to pay for content. If you like the game enough to support it, then they've done their job, right? Because they're supposed to to make a game that you want to play. And if you like a game enough to spend an extra $3 on a stupid fucking emote, then they've done a good job of making a game that you want to spend $3 on a dumb fucking emote for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, then at least their core games, they got it down that, that's something you want to play. Well, because, sure, it's a stupid emote, but what did you get back with a complete new armor set, new quest, and all that? And it's all for free. I'm like, okay, so what gives you to pay $3 or euros or whatever you have in your country? Just to buy a stupid gesture. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But for something like, I know Straw really likes this game, Destiny. Well, I think even though I played it and I enjoyed it for what it was, I still think it's a piece of shit game. Because how the DLCs are handled and all that, it's just...
I'm glad you brought that game up, though, because there was some controversy with that game where they were locking off XP gain. Remember that?
Yeah, they've done just about everything wrong that you can do. And I will still, they've kind of got their hooks in me with Destiny at this point, where they've tried really hard to make me not want to play it, and so far
that's the same people that did Halo, right?
Yeah.
No. Oh wait, is it?
Well,
it's Bungie. Yeah,
well, the company is, but the people who
they've moved on at the original.
Yeah, they moved on.
It's like BioWare. Everyone's just leaving BioWare.
That works. Yeah, the things with Destiny, and the last time I played played Destiny was with a friend of mine. When was doing the last DLC was called Warmind.
Yeah, well, it was not a great one.
Yeah, there was this final boss of that DLC, right? And that's this giant worm and all that.
He wasn't hard at all. It was just anticlimactic.
Well, the thing is, he was seen as a god in that whole universe. But the problem is, the Grey Jaguars, the first thing you kill in this game, puts more of a fight than a freaking god.
Yeah.
Damn.
If just a yellow chubby lizard Hey, God, you're doing something wrong.
That's
Ouch.
hilarious.
1, 2, 3, jump.
Beautiful. And we're back.
We're back in
Oh,
Male
yeah.
K fashion.
Male J.
Looking
Let's-
good, kid.
Let's go.
Glad,
Colin.
glad to see you converted.
It's so painful for him, I'm sure.
Why do you think I'm wearing sunglasses? It just blinded me from the ugliness.
Oh God, did you see the butt cape flowing in the wind?
It was
I
amazing.
sure did. I did. I did my charge, and it made it float up even more.
I'm so glad
like
that
it.
Gid showed us that trick that only people from the Netherlands know about how to jump from the Gathering Hub to the Elder's Recess.
Yeah, that
Using
was
an
awesome.
emo.
Dude.
That was great.
Yep,
Did you
Yeah.
know that we're the coolest?
we are. Malek, you have news that you want to discuss.
Yeah, it's just PC related. So sales wise, Monster Hunter is doing pretty well. I think that Merrill Lynch report will
Now, is
they'll
that
regret it.
even with the China screw up?
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah, no,
happened
it's
there,
funny.
I don't quite know. Like,
I don't know
understand
all the
why that
details.
happened, but apparently the game got pulled in China.
Correct. Yeah, it was canceled in China, which is crazy because it supposedly had 1 million pre-orders, so that definitely hurt. But it's still on Steam is the best debut of 2018, and it
Nice.
supposedly sold 2 million copies on Steam. So
That's pretty amazing.
that is incredible, guys. Monster Hunter did it. We did
Yeah.
it.
That's
So
really great.
what was its competition when you say like best on Steam in 2018?
Well,
Or,
that's a good question because honestly, I don't really. I'm trying to think of the big PC games to come out this year, and
Because I mostly play games on consoles, so that's why
yeah.
I'm asking.
Well, no,
Well, I
and
mean-
I've mostly been playing Monster Hunter. I usually am big into PC stuff, but this year it's just Monster Hunter has taken my soul. So
Was
I
God
really
of War
can't
on
think of any.
console?
no, God
Okay.
God of War is only Sony. It's exclusive to PS4.
Oh, I didn't know
so,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry,
Um,
Xbox people.
yeah, that's supposed to be a really good game. Honestly, I can't really think of many big PC games that came out this year. I'm probably someone in the comments, please correct. But
Sea
still,
of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. That was
Wow, that
sorry,
was
I'm,
amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No Man's Sea.
No Man's Sea. That's his
Oh man.
name. Yeah.
That game
Oh,
didn't
man.
do. That was the pirate game, right? That looked kind of
Yeah.
cool. I mean, not cool
Well, it
enough.
was
that
sad
yeah.
because the company was a good company too. Rare, right? Wasn't it the old people from Rare working on it? That's what
Maybe.
I thought.
So what happened
Well,
with
I
that
mean-
game? Because I feel like I saw a lot about it, and then it just kind of disappeared off my radar.
There was just nothing to do at first. It was basically like you had to make your own fun.
There weren't a lot of
For the most
variety
part.
in the quest. It was
Yeah.
the game felt pretty
was-
empty, especially towards the end game.
So that's why you're
Yeah.
calling it No Man's Sea.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get it now.
But
Yeah, no, I mean,
they've done some updates, and I think there's supposed to be more to do now, 'cause similar to No Man's Sky again.
Which I hear is
Um,
fun now. I kind of want to play it. Just
Yeah, me too. It's pretty
It's a
cheap.
lot better.
now.
It's a lot better. Yeah.
Well, look at the bright side of the whole situation. They lived up to the name. They have something fun. It's pretty rare.
you're welcome, Malek.
Good.
Oh yeah, good job.
What? What have I done, Malek?
Well
So,
played. Your puns
the-
are always.
The other news with that PC release is that the servers have been fucked, and there's a lot of speculation on why. At first everybody was mad at Capcom. Now people are saying maybe it's Steam's fault. And then just tonight I saw that it may be because of hackers. So I don't really know what's
I mean, I
going
know
on with
mods are
issues.
people are modding the game or whatever, but I wonder if that seems like kind of a scapegoat to me.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of went on a tirade recently against Capcom for it. I don't like when people buy stuff and it doesn't work. But it sounds to me like Steam and Capcom are working on the issue together, which tells me that it's bigger than just one company. Like it was probably because Steam is, I guess, in charge of the servers, and then of course Capcom has to, code their game to work with it. So they're working together on a fix. Hopefully, those two juggernaut companies can come up with a fix.
Well, I'm sure they can. It's just can they fix it before the ratings on Steam get so low?
Unfortunately, the ratings are pretty bad. Like I guess that's part of the news too. It's mixed reviews,
right? Which is sad.
Yeah, isn't that the most of the time with if a game comes? If a console game comes to PC, that's always bad at first.
It depends on the port, honestly. Like if it's a good port, like people.
Look, man, they had 6 months to fucking make this shit work. 7 months, 8 months, something like that, to make this shit work. And I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm just saying they had plenty of time.
I wonder if the problem is that they underestimated, how popular it was going to be.
Maybe, I wonder too, because I feel like that's what happened on Xbox. They didn't do a beta.
Right, that's just what I was getting ready to say. Xbox had a lot of problems when it first came out. They didn't have a beta for Xbox. They had a ton of server problems on Xbox when it first came out, and people were rightly irritated. And
do you guys remember though, like the first week or two of the PlayStation Network around the time of this game's release? Because I remember it being pretty wonky too.
Well, there was a couple nights that the PSN went down, but it wasn't anything to do with Monster Hunter. It was just PSN in general was down, which the problem. Hold on, hear me out.
Mm-hmm. Is the problem these companies, or is the problem us rabid Monster Hunter fans who just get to buy this game like crazy and then play it for hours and hours and hours and hours?
Right. Well, I mean, I think the problem with the PlayStation Network is that people do those DDoS attacks or whatever it's called, where they spam the server with packets.
Targeted a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's so it's kind of like a mixed bag of news. Mixed bag of news.
Yeah, and Tencent having to pull Monster Hunter, that was a big bummer. I was really excited.
Did we ever figure out why? What was there? It's a government thing.
China isn't really transparent with their decisions on things. I can't imagine it was because of content. There's not really any questionable content in the game. There were some other games that got pulled also, for basically unknown reasons. I don't know why. It's just the Chinese government, for whatever reason that I don't know, found some reason to pull it. I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out and answer that question on another podcast.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it.
We'll solve this mystery.
Or cart trying.
Is there anything else?
That's all I wanted to talk about, guys. I just wanted to throw that out.
We better kill this Oregon fast then. Oh, good timing.
Oh, right when Basil shows up. Hello, Basil.
Hi, Basil.
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for being a good sport, man. Hanging out late with us and dressing up in Male K. Yeah. Look at you. Look at me. I'm on fire. Male K is hot. Look at this. Look at him. He's hot.
Oh, you.
Fire. Sorry.
Oh, you got the hots from me.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Male K.
Oh no. Ow, why would you hit Male K? Why would you hit someone so gorgeous? Get out of here. Look at Strawfoot. He's got the right idea.
Well, I can't hit myself, Malek. How about that, huh?
Hey, what the hell? Why are you all poking me?
Because I got an insect leg. Deal with it.
I'm uncomfortable now.
That was a good pose at the end there, Malek. You and I, just right there with our cod pieces.
Man, I got a good one too.
Glory.
Dude, this ending picture is amazing. I'm doing like a flip.
Oh, my ass is in full frame.
I'm saving that screenshot.
Yeah, let me take a screenshot of that.
Yeah,
oh, I
that's
can't write
worth money
Damn
in
it.
some circles of the internet. Cheers asses. Cheers asses worth money.
Strawfoot can take a screen cap of it when he's editing the video.
Straw, did you get to HR 200?
See in a second. I did! HR 200.
Yay! Congratulations.
I'm a big boy now.
You'll get there soon.
200 more than you're around my hunter rank.
I was gonna say a kid is the big
What?
boy.
What's your HR gid?
Like 4.
Hold on. 404.
Wow.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess that's that, everyone. My hand.
Kind of my level.
My,
404.
my hand is clipping through. God damn it!
Let him talk about his wiggler. Geez.
My hand is clipping through my wiggler head.
Tell
That's
me
all I
all
wanted
about
to
your
fucking say.
wiggler.
It looks like, kind of like I'm smacking my wiggler.
Smacked up.
Oh my.